For this video, what I want to do is show you how to create a truth table for two statements. I have created a more complex example for this one, and what I have here is I have some complements, or, and statements mixed together. Okay, so with this, when you are given two statements, you always want to start with the two variables that you're given. So we are given A and B. Okay. And I'm going to extend this out because this is going to take up some room to do. Okay, the starting point always in truth tables with two statements is to start with looking at all of the possible combinations of true and false values that you can assign to the two statements. The first column will always follow the pattern true, true, false, false. And the second will always follow the pattern true, false, true, false. And that's because the first statement can be true, followed by a true second statement, a true first statement followed by a false second statement, a false first statement followed by a true second statement, or they can both be false. So those are all of the possible combinations of truth values that you can assign to two different statements. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to look at what we are looking for ultimately. So ultimately, we want to have this entire statement. This first part in parentheses represents we don't want it to be an A, so this is the complement of A, and we would read this as not A. This, remember, is read as or B, so we have not A or B, and this is grouped together, and not B. So ultimately, we are looking for the intersection of the statement not A or B and not B. All right, so when you have something that's a little more complex, I would start with looking for any complements. Since I need the complement of A, or not A, I'm going to start there. Instead of trying to look at it all holistically, I'm going to break it down into the parts that I have inside. So not A is always the complement of A. So I would do the opposite. So if A is true, then not A is false. Again, if A is true, not A is false, followed by true, true. Okay. We also see that we have a not B, so I want to find the complement of B also. Okay, so if B is true, then not B is false. If B is false, then not B is true. B is true, not B is false. And false becomes true. All right, so now what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the union of not A or B. Remember, with or, if one of them is true, then we would assign a truth value of true. If both of them are false, that's the only time that you assign a truth value of false. So for this one, I'm going to look at the B column, and I'm going to look at the not A column, and I'm going to look to see is at least one of them true. So we can see on this first one that B is true, so we can assign a truth value of true. For the next one, they're both false, so I would assign a truth value of false. On the next one, they are both true, so this is true. And then on the last one, we also have a true in the not A part, so we would assign a truth value of true. Okay, now for the last one that we have to create, we are actually looking at the statement holistically, the not A or B column, and not B. So this time we're going to look at this grouped column here, and we're also going to look at the not B column. Because this is and, remember and is both, so I have to have a truth value of true for both of them in order for it to be true. So on the first one, only the not A or B column is true, so since they're not both true, I would assign a truth value of false. Same thing for the next one, followed by the next one, and then the last one is the only case where you have a true statement. So the only time that this is going to be a true statement if it's not A or B is true and not B is true. So once you have got to a column that has all of the end values, then you are finished with your truth table. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics that you would like me to cover, please let me know that as well.